Wow, it's not a joke, guys. Are we at the zone where we won't be able to buy XRP soon? I'm going to tell you everything. Hello, lovely individuals. Hello, Bitcoin recently reached a new all-time high. Well done. But don't put screenshots of your portfolio up just yet. We could see a lot of changes. I'll explain that. All I want to know is if you gave me a nice smile to send out those wonderful vibes. Smoshity smack that like button because likes are free, and let's get started. XRP is now worth $2.41, which is 2.65% more than it was yesterday. XRP has held up extremely well. So yet, the trend hasn't broken through the line. We watched Bitcoin cross over after the biggest daily closing yesterday. It looked like today would be the highest point ever, but it wasn't certain. But there are a lot of things that are coming into play that we'll talk about in a minute that helped this rally happen today. We witnessed Bitcoin soar all the way up to 109,800. So that happened around 10 or 15 minutes ago, and we witnessed the new all-time high. I think it's going to last around 20 minutes. We're going to see more of this unless it pulls back from here, which is possible. But hopefully we'll see new highs, and more new highs. That's right. It doesn't mean that, though. Remember, it achieved a new high twice before. Is that right? The next day, it reached a new high, but then it fell back a lot. And here, too, we reached a new high. But we didn't see another one for 3 or 4 months. Seeing a new high today doesn't indicate we'll see one again. But there are a number of variables that point to the chance that we might this time. But, as always, this is not financial advice. You should always do your own research before you invest. I won't tell you to purchase, sell, or hold, because I don't know what day it is today. Today things are looking good, but the market could change tomorrow, or we could get some negative news. You never know. Okay? So keep that in mind very, very well. And I spotted this tweet from Kraken. They're like, hurry up. Everyone, please take a picture of their portfolio. One thing I stated that can mean you're close to the top of the cycle is that you're growing really confident and posting screenshots on social media of how well you're doing. That's generally a sign. If you see a lot of posts like that, it's likely that you're getting close to the conclusion. But I don't think we're quite there yet. I suppose we're still just getting started. People aren't very interested in crypto on social media yet. We're seeing increasing attention, but not in a big sense, maybe on TV. So it's very, very crucial to keep that in mind. Bitcoin has also recently passed Amazon to become the 5th most valuable asset in the world. What a time it is. Right now, Bitcoin is only ahead of gold, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Apple. These are crazy, crazy times. And we did see a position, the whale that had XRP and Pepe, if you remember. So they raised their long position to $1 billion on a 40x basis with an average entry price of 108. This is crazy, isn't that right? I don't think I've ever seen a leverage position this big before. Let's see what happens. That's right. It may be a pretty fascinating situation. We do have a few important dates coming up for Bitcoin. These could be the reasons why Bitcoin is making new highs, and why the crypto market with XRP might break out here. I've told you this a few times already, but there are a few things I'm searching for. I want to see Bitcoin's dominance get up to about 70%, which is what we had a few days of retreat for. And everyone was like, oh, that's it? That's right. It was the start of altcoin season. Okay, I said, but I still didn't see the 70, which doesn't have to happen, you know. I think that Bitcoin normally dominates, goes up, and then money flows into it and out to altcoins. So we need to be careful about that. We also talked about how the Fed's quantitative tightening could transform into quantitative easing. We're going to have to be careful about it. As we move forward, the M2 keeps rising up. Today, it reached an all-time high of 22 trillion 30 billion. People have spoken about Bitcoin and how it looks like the M2 way too much. So, when we had the pullback, it was like, what is happening now? When it's having the melt up or the pump up, Bitcoin and the crypto market might follow it also. We'll see if that really happens again. But for the first time since April 9th, stock markets are starting to respond to higher yields. The yield on the 10-year note is now above 4.5%. We're 80 basis points higher than before the Fed changed its mind. Rates on mortgages are again over 7%. Rates on auto loans are over 10%, while rates on credit cards are over 20%. Higher for longer is returning for the 100th time. We'll have to wait and watch what the Fed does, because there's a 95% chance they won't lower interest rates in a month. If we move out to July, it looks like we are also 75% sure that there won't be a cut. Is that right? That's where we are at 5.25 to 4.25. The betting markets seem to be looking at the current scenario and don't expect the Fed will start lowering interest rates. The question is, are they going to start the quantitative easing? Maybe you should cease tightening the money supply, and then maybe you should start loosening it. We'll see what happens there, and once more, there are things that I will be looking for. The second one might not materialize, but I'm going to be watching for the 70% Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance. And then, of course, I think that once those two things happen, XRP might have a chance to break out. Of course, we also have the Bitcoin conference coming up on May 29th. That's where Donald Trump went last year and talked at the conference, if you remember. We also anticipated that things would change if he won once he got there. And of course, a lot has changed since this new president and administration took office. The Genius Act, which would set the rules for stablecoins, has passed the motion to move forward with the bill. Now the law proceeds through the amendment process. So it's going through. We have 69, which is a lovely number, and we're seeing it go through the channels and maybe even up here into the law. And of course, that will be very, very essential for Ripple and XRP in the future. And I'll keep utilizing Eleanor as a good source. She works as a journalist. She used to work for Fox Business, but now she's on her own. She always has good information about what's going on in Washington. If you want to know more about what's going on, follow her. So I think that when we have all three of these things, Bitcoin dominance achieving its peak and then going back down, the Fed putting money into the market and the law, then we will see a lot of activity. The M2 keeps going higher. All of these things might come together to make the perfect storm. It might happen again, and XRP and the crypto market are already at levels where you wouldn't want to buy because they're going to be high. That's right. There will always be individuals who say, and I'm one of them, that there are always chances in the market. And even if the market goes up 10 times or 15 times from here, there will always be chances. Keep in mind that the market has already gone up 10 times and 15 times before, so there will always be room. There will always be fresh things to do. There will always be new things. But I think that once people start to see how much XRP and the crypto market could grow, a lot of them will stay on the sidelines because they'll be looking at the market caps and thinking, oh, it's too expensive for me now. Is that right?